My hero on the tennis courts. It's amazing. Love it. All right, the time now, 25 minutes past 7. Members of the ANC's National Executive Committee have been holding meetings with the party's regional structures to, among others, convey and explain the ANC's decision to recall former President Jacob Zuma. This amidst reports that Zuma was not furnished with reasons for his recall. There's also talks of an imminent cabinet reshuffle, not only at a national level, but in the provinces as well. To get an update on the latest happenings within the ruling party, we are joined by its spokesperson, Pule Mabe. Pule, good to have you. Thank you very much for being with us.
Well, thanks, Leanne, and good morning to your viewers.
Yeah, busy week last week. Are you relieved a little bit that we are where we are right now? I mean, because yesterday was last week was a very tense week.
Yes, but I think what will bring about relief is to try and solicit greater understanding from members of the ANC in the country, make sure that there is appreciation of the kind of efforts that the National Executive Committee has taken to arrive at this kind of a critical decision. That's why it was important, Leanne, that we also go to the ground and take our structures into confidence and also give them an opportunity to raise their own issues. In that way, the organization is able to move forward, because how you move forward only when you take your structures along.
Yeah, indeed, yes. It certainly is. Now, obviously, as we're all being told, is that there's been these special regional general councils taking place. How has the membership reacted to the resignation and basic recall of President Jacob Zuma?
Well, I'm sure that we will be getting a fuller brief from those who were deployed across regions. Of course, there are quite issues that are being raised by our own regional structures on the ground. The fact that we have gone to the ground to convey the decision, which is not a simple decision that you can just take and not go and convey it to your own structures. We had NEC members who were in the Eastern Cape, in KwaZulu-Natal. There could have been areas where for instance, there would have been issues where, for instance, where NEC members would not have shown up. I'm sure there would be reasons why there would not have been people there, so that we try and make sure that where cadres are deployed, they attend to those, to make sure that the message is properly communicated in Mpumalanga as well, in the Free State, in Limpopo, almost all the provinces in the country. Once we have got a report, including the kind of issues that are coming up, I know that one of the things that was being raised had to do with the alignment. Alignment of terms, to make sure that you do not find yourself in this kind of a situation again, where you look at aligning your term of office with your term of elections, if you like. Because by the time you go to the conference of the ANC, you are still left with about 18 months. So that's why even the national conference itself, how they would have conceptualized the whole notion of transition, had to do with largely stability in the movement, to make sure that you facilitate things in a manner that doesn't create instability. All right.
Pule, I want to talk about the reasons, because we obviously are being told that this kind of roadshow to the different provinces and heads is to furnish them with reasons as to why President Jacob Zuma was recalled. However, he himself, President or former President Zuma, has not been given these reasons. South Africans have also not given these reasons, which has then left this open void in the space where everybody's guessing and writing articles and predicting why President Jacob Zuma was recalled. Are we ever going to be privy to this information?
Well, of course. I mean, part of the reasons why we have always made ourselves available to speak to yourselves and to also go to our structures is to also begin zooming into what you would refer to as reasons. And I'm sure that even our own national officials, because there is that continued engagement that must take place, because you'll also know that former presidents of the ANC are accorded status to sit in the National Executive Committee. President Mbeki, President Zuma, So whenever they are available, they are also allowed to join the National Executive Committee of the ANC when it convenes from time to time. But what has been important was part of the things that had been addressed. One, we had to deal with the notion that President Zuma has never been found guilty of any crime, and that we should also be seen to be acceding to the universal principle that individuals are innocent until proven guilty.
So why was he removed?
That also applied to President Zuma.
Indeed.
There would have been an issue raised about the Constitutional Court with the issues around the oath of office and all of that the Constitutional Court would have pronounced on. So that was, of course, a serious matter that the ANC would not have taken lightly.
Would that have been put forward as a reason?
It is not necessarily. It's one of the things that would have been conveyed as it dealt with how you want to manage issues of integrity and all of that, without necessarily casting aspersions on any individual. We had to also file that with our structures so that there is no misreading of what the leadership is trying to do. Because if you just go out and say, our overall drive is to also make sure that we reassert the integrity of the movement, then the next question will be, what are you trying to resolve?
I'm not really understanding, I have to be honest with you, because there's still that void you're talking about. There is still no reason given as to why President Jacob Zuma was recalled.
I'm trying to go to that. I'm trying to go to those that would have been raised, because we needed. See, Leon, just to overemphasize this point, we needed to deal with this notion that President Jacob Zuma has never been found guilty of any crime.
We understand that. We understand that, but I'm asking you the question. Yes. Why was he recalled? Yes. I mean, so we didn't recall him. The ANC recalled him. So we are not pronouncing him guilty. Yes. You clearly are. So can you not give us a reason?
No. I mean, we spoke about the issue of the Concord judgment, which would have been one of the issues labored upon.
Okay.
We also spoke about the issue of how you manage transition in the manner that you do not create instability in the movement. But most importantly, President Zuma himself, and this point I've made previously, had acceded to stepping down as President of the Republic. The issue really was around the time frames. Are you doing it now, or are you doing it after 3 or 6 months?
Okay.
And then what the National Executive Committee did, it only invoked clause 12.2.21.2, which allows it to recall any of its deployees. This is the authority that the NEC has. But we must also remember that in the final analysis, President Zuma voluntarily stepped down.
Let me pause you. I'm going to pause you because I've just got news that we can continue this interview after the headlines. So I'm very grateful. I know we are late for headlines. So let's quickly get those to you. We'll continue our conversation with Pule Mabe afterwards. He, of course, is the spokesperson for the ANC. Palesa, over to you.